to film this 3 times now. We had camera issues. We drove right past a cop at one point who was sitting right on the on-ramp to the highway. That was really funny, actually. Way back home. What's this cop doing here?
What's going on here?
I know. We had an early morning and we were headed to the fertility doctor's office. So we'll start at the beginning and explain how we got there. So last week we were waiting for our doctor to get back from out of town to let us know the new protocol for our second round of IVF for me. So on Tuesday, it had been over a week since we had last heard from them, so I sent them an email and said, are we going to hear a protocol soon? Just because we needed to know what meds we needed to order and all of that kind of stuff. And our doctor wanted us to get in an IVF cycle before our cruise we have at the end of April. So we know we're running out of time there. And they got back to me on Tuesday and said the doctor was just wrapping up the plan that she was writing for me, and that she would get back to us in the next day. So then we heard back from the doctor the following day, which was Wednesday. She said she was so sorry for the delay, and she said that she wanted us to go with another round of IVF. She said that in the first round, because I have low AMH or diminished ovarian reserve, they had blasted me, essentially, I think is what she said, with the highest dose, most aggressive stimulant dosage, and also a flare protocol. So I was on a microdose Lupron and very high doses of the stimulant, which is one of the protocols I read about for people with low AMH. She said that clearly that didn't work because not only did I just not really respond, I think I responded worse than I did when I was just taking oral Clomid for our IUIs. So just clearly was not.
Yeah, with Clomid you were getting like two, 3, maybe 3, maybe even a 4th one starting to develop.
Follicle.
And then with this, the first IVF, you
had like 1.5.
Your body was like, 1, we'll see if we get a second one. And I don't even think the second one made it.
It didn't get big enough, no. So that's why they canceled that round and we decided to use it as an IUI cycle. So the doctor said she wants to do a new round using Clomid and much smaller doses of the stimulants. So we're kind of looking forward to that. We've read some studies about that. I've read that people with low AMH, if they don't respond to the high doses, they will respond this way a lot better. So I don't know. We'll see. We're trying to be cautiously optimistic.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we know that there's a good chance that it's not going to result in any more. The doctor said if that's the case, if we don't have at least 3 follicles this time, that she will not do an egg retrieval. They don't like to do it at our clinic. They don't do like the micro IVF very often. So I think she said maybe 2, depending. She might do an egg retrieval.
Yeah.
But really she wants us to get 3. So I guess we'll see what happens. She said if it's less than that, we'll transfer back to IUIs. And then we can see if we want to do another IVF. I guess she said it really depends on how I respond to this. So that's kind of what we expected, and we're on board with that. We're good with that.
Yeah.
So then the nurse reached out to me to make sure that we had more vials of sperm that we were going to send to them. We told them we did because we bought a lot of them and we have them in storage at the sperm bank that we purchased them from. So we decided to send them to our doctor's office. They don't charge you for storage at our doctor's office as long as you're going through cycles trying to conceive.
Yeah.
So we've been cautiously sending some over. We don't want to send too many because it costs money to send it. And once we conceive, we're going to have to pay them for storage. And we have a free year of storage at our sperm bank, which I think we probably have like a half a year left on.
I think it's up in June, I think.
Okay. So
Yeah, because our sperm bank gave us free storage or free shipping, depending on which one you wanted to go with. If you bought like 4 more vials, it was some.
And it was, we were debating between like, you know,
it was
3
like
or
a
4.
Father's Day deal or something like that. It was weird. But yeah, so in June we purchased, I think 4 or 5, and sent half of them to the clinic, and then kept half of them at the sperm bank for the free storage.
Yeah.
And so we've used them, so we had to send the other vials
to the doctor's office.
So
they'll be getting them this week.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't basically proceed with anything until they knew that they had vials coming in. So I told her, no, you'll have them delivered, I think Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah. So then she's like, okay, great. When do you want to come into baseline? And explained that I was going to be on Clomid, and then I was going to be on, which is different from last time, but I've been on it for IUI cycles before. And then after a couple of days of that, they'll put me on Menopur and Follistim or Gonalef, depending on insurance coverage, but they're the same thing. And those 2 things I was on previously. So, we went over how much I had at home and all of that. And they didn't make any mention of the microdose Lupron, which is what I was on before. So to keep me from ovulating, right?
Yep.
They didn't make mention of any medication for that. And I should have asked, but I wasn't sure if that wasn't going to be what was going to be necessary or not.
Yeah.
Got there. Good job.
It's like my best friend's wedding. My exit. Where do I have to go?
West. We're going out to her friend's house. They live like over an hour away, and you have to take like 4 different freeways to get there. And I usually drive there, and Jill usually drives home.
Yeah.
But we switched it up.
Northwest suburbs are not my comfort zone in driving.
So anyway, we discussed everything that we had, and she said this will basically be what you're taking, and once we get your results from your baseline, she said I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but I'm going to have one of the other nurses on the team call you guys with the results. And previously they whenever it was like waiting to see if we were going to start medication, whether it be for IUI or our last IVF cycle or whatever it may be, they called me like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, maybe at the very latest 3 o'clock.
And it's usually this one nurse who is awesome. She always gets back to us right away. She is really on top of things, like super organized. We always hear from her. If it's any other nurse or if she's not in the office, we can hear anywhere from like 3 o'clock to like 4:30, which is ridiculous.
5 o'clock even, I think.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous because, I mean, I understand it's busy, but I went in for my baseline yesterday. I was there at 7 a.m. I was out the door before 7:40 for my ultrasound and blood work. So
yeah, Sam was gonna go in when I had my HSG test, which was around noon, and the nurse said that's fine, noon is good, just try to get your blood work done right away so that we can get...
She said get my blood work done by like 11:30. So I just decided, just stop on my way to work. I've done it so much already. I'm used to stopping on my way to work. So I just did that. And I figured, great, we'll have my results. They've told me is if you're in before 9, our results are back before 1, typically. So I just expect to hear from them by like 3. But the good nurse was not there. And the one who was covering for her, I think she's the Friday nurse, and I've had less luck with her being on top of everything. Really nice person, but just a little less organized, I think. So I didn't hear from her yesterday until it was like 4:15, 4:12, I think. I had taken Jill to her appointment and then took her home, and I was working. It was the very last day of the quarter, and my business is very busy at quarter end. So I was just working feverishly all day. We worked until like 6 o'clock last night. I didn't even realize what time it was when I heard from her. It was an email in our like online patient portal that said basically your estrogen is too high to start. It has to be below, I believe, 60, and mine was like 130, I think, which is to be expected because I'm in the middle of my cycle and I'm not at day, I think 2 or 3 typically. They've had me on birth control, and they were trying to keep my ovaries quiet so that we could start a cycle kind of in the middle of my cycle, start an IVF cycle because the doctor was out of town. So we weren't surprised by that.
I don't think birth control really keeps your ovaries quiet. Your ovaries don't like to be told what to do. Like chemicals can.
My body likes
go to hell with your ovaries.
Yeah, like with the last IVF, I think at a certain point my body is just like gonna do what it's gonna do, what it's meant to do, and so we've seen Clomid works for me. It does. We've seen a response there for sure. So I'm looking forward to see what happens here.
Yeah.
But the nurse sent us that email yesterday and said, "I'm sorry, this is not what we were hoping to see," and I think they thought we'd be more upset. We were just like, okay. I mean, that's fine. But she said...
We were expecting that.
Yeah, we were expecting that. We were okay with waiting until after our trip to do this cycle, but our doctor wants to get it in before the trip because of the risk of Zika and because we don't know if we'll have IVF coverage beyond the summer. We just kind of want to get everything in, and we feel a little bit of a time crunch. So, and we've explained it to them in January. We told them about, our travel and our time crunch and all of that, and they were like, absolutely, let's get 2 IVF rounds in before your trip and try to get some eggs or try to get some embryos on ice.
So that you can transfer after the trip as long as we're clear for Zika. So that was kind of the plan, is let's just try to get some success, some embryos frozen, so that when we're ready during the summer, Sam can get knocked up and I can get some embryos going. So that's just kind of been the plan for a while now.
Because it's covered by insurance right now, Jill is phenomenal insurance, so why not? We don't want to risk anything changing, and with any job changes, it's going to result in insurance changes. So anyway, the nurse said yesterday, you're not going to start your stimulants today, but we wanted you to start. It was a different medication, but it was essentially Centratide, because in another email she said Centratide, and I was like, I don't have Centratide on hand. I haven't even been prescribed it. She was like, yeah, you did. It was yesterday. You were prescribed it. I said, I can't get it. All of our IVF meds, a lot of them are covered, but only from our specialty pharmacy. And where we go likes to use their specialty pharmacy. It's a big, it's through a big university, a teaching hospital. They're great. It's a big practice, but they try to get you to use their specialty pharmacy. And
it costs money.
Yeah, a lot of money. And our insurance may or may not reimburse us if we go through somebody else. But if we use our specialty pharmacy, we just pay a copay. We're very lucky, we understand that, but we want to utilize what we have.
Yeah, why pay money if you don't have to, especially because there are other places in TTC that you do have to pay money and it's not covered. So.
Right, there is still things that are not covered that we have to pay for, such as freezing any embryos. That's not going to be covered. If we were to genetically test, none of that would be covered. So what is covered, we want to utilize what our insurance covers. She kind of sent me a message at 4:12 and said, okay, start taking this Centratide, and I replied back and I said, I don't see a prescription for it, and I wouldn't be able to get it, but she said to take it last night between 6 and 9 p.m. I was like, this is the first we're hearing about this. Why have we not been told about this medication previously if we needed to possibly take it today? I said, if it's an injectable, it doesn't even matter if I went to their specialty pharmacy. They closed at 5 o'clock and I live a half an hour away from them, and I didn't get her email until 4:12, and it was rush hour, so it was more like an hour away. I said, there's no way I can get that. And she replied back and she was like, oh, sorry, I misspoke. You have to start it tomorrow. You can use our specialty pharmacy self-pay. They're open until 5 o'clock, and they'll deliver to you over the weekend. By the time I got that email from her, it was like 4:45. And I was on the phone with my insurance trying to see, or our specialty pharmacy, trying to see if there was any way to get something delivered. And they said no, they had already sent out all their shipments for the day, and they were doing inventory for the weekend. So I can't get anything from them until Tuesday. So it was just very stressful. I got really stressed out. It was really overwhelming because it just felt like this particular, nurse wasn't our regular nurse. She didn't understand. A regular nurse knows, she knows our insurance. She knows the processes we have to go through, and is really great about all of that. And this one, I felt like, and when I've seen her before, I felt like she just kind of is doesn't care.
She doesn't even know.
She doesn't care to know.
Yeah, she just kind of sent out the message because that's probably what she's supposed to do.
In the bottom of the message, what made me upset was in the bottom of the message, she said, if you have an issue getting the prescription, go ahead and send a new email. Don't reply to this one because I won't be here, and another nurse can help you. I was
at 4:45, which means that she was already checked out to leave the office before 5 o'clock, which, if that's her schedule, fine, but she's in the middle of dealing with something with a patient, rather than just saying, peace, I'm out. Take care of this, make sure it's all set up. And we were like, wait, what? So we didn't even know about this medicine, and you're gonna drop a bomb like that and say, okay, but I'm out, bye. Oh, I was so annoyed.
And I was on the phone with I tried our insurance, and I tried to see if they had any other specialty pharmacies I could fill from that were local. Anyone that could get it to me by today, nobody could. By the time I was done with that, it was 5:02. I tried calling the doctor's office. Their phone lines were off for the weekend. And obviously that nurse was gone because I had replied right after that email, and I said, can you guys help me? I don't know what to do here. What will happen if we don't start it until next week?
And she didn't even tell you dosage either. She just said start taking it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.
There's no instructions for it.
It was like,
so
what?
I sent I was a little worked up. I sent an email
with good cause.
I sent an email to them, a brand new email like she said, and I said, can someone please call me urgently? I'm a little stressed out about this. I'm a little worried. I don't know what to do. So a different nurse who we've dealt with before, and she's pretty good.
I honestly usually get messages back from this nurse. I don't know if they're assigned to certain patients.
They are.
Because I always hear from this nurse.
They said that each doctor has a team of nurses, and on that team of nurses, they try to assign certain patients to certain nurses, and they kind of try to keep it so if my particular nurse is in the office, she replies to everything for me.
You usually get the best nurse.
I have the best nurse.
You do, but my nurse is in the back.
She's pretty good. She replies.
Yeah.
She doesn't always answer all your questions, but she does reply. She replies emails. And she answered. She called me. I sent an email. I said, can someone just please call me? Here's my cell phone. I need some help. And I explained to her the situation of our insurance and our specialty pharmacy, and how I didn't even realize, I could have done the self-pay with our doctor's office specialty pharmacy, but I said I didn't even realize it till after 5 and they were gone. And so she was really sweet, and she's like, well, she looks at the calendar and my protocol and the plan, and she's like, if we don't start you on those meds until Tuesday, hopefully we'd be okay to get a retrieval in before your trip. I think we'd be okay, but there was no guarantee. And then Jill was sitting next to me, and she just said, ask if they have any medicine in the office.
I said, ask if they have any doses, anything you could just use.
Because they wanted me to have 3 doses for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I'm going in for another baseline on Tuesday to see if my numbers are better.
Your medicine could be delivered by Tuesday.
My medicine will be delivered by Tuesday. I said, do you have anything to hold me over? It's just one particular medication I need to take. I have everything else, and it's the only one they want me to take between now and then. And she said, hold on. Puts us on hold. And she's like, yeah, I have exactly what you need. We're not supposed to give it out because we save it for our oncology patients. And
super sad,
I know.
I felt bad using it. Yeah. Oh.
She said that she could give it to us, but the deal is we have to bring in the replacements. So she gave us 3. She said she'd set aside 3 boxes, and that we had to bring in 3 boxes back. I said, oh my God, I will absolutely do that. I have no problem doing that. I would never want to take medication from.
And now we want to donate whatever we have left over, as long as we don't have friends that need donations also. I mean,
our friends donated some medication to us,
which was super.
We cleared it with our doctor, and she's like, oh my God, yes, I love when patients do that, as long as it's not expired and it's the right dosage. And we showed her pictures of what they had, and she's like, yes, use all of that, please. She's like, I hate patients have to pay so much money for this medication, and I hate that any of it goes to waste. So we know if we don't have any friends needing it, when we're all done with it, we're absolutely donating it to the office because they use it for their oncology patients. So
it's like,
we definitely want to do that.
Like, warms my heart. I'm so glad that they do something like that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So she's like, can you come in early tomorrow morning, which is today, Saturday, and pick up these boxes? I said, yeah, absolutely. And she's like,
will be there.
She's like, we need you here. Is there any way you can get here before 11? I was like, yeah, no problem. So we got there this morning at like 9 something. So now we're set to take the Centrotide Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and I will go back in for another baseline ultrasound and blood work on Tuesday. At my baseline yesterday, the ultrasound looked good. I had 16 antral follicles, which I think is really good for me. We think that's really good for me.
Yeah.
We're happy with that. It's not a really high number, but
something to work with.
It's better than ones we've seen. We're taking so many vitamins. The doctor actually just sent us a whole list of vitamins she wants us on. We don't know why.
We should make a vlog. I think maybe our next vlog will go through the vitamins that we were already taking. We did a little research, and then
for some reason our doctor didn't tell us to be on these prior to this, which this is my second IVF attempt, and I've had 5 IUIs.
Yes.
So we would have thought these vitamins probably would have been beneficial previously, and I've been taking some of them, but not all of them.
I just wonder if she thinks, like, maybe at this point she's like, okay, vitamins could really help now, especially because you had gotten pregnant, so maybe she wasn't thinking like this is something to really tell you, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like, you know, if I were in her situation, I would probably say, here's a list of vitamins that if you're interested in getting started, here you go. You can take them, you don't have to, and then maybe toward, you know, this part of the TTC process, she could say, okay, if you're not taking those vitamins, I really do recommend. But whatever, we were already taking most of them.
So we weren't taking DHEA
or calcium.
and I don't think I'm taking quite enough calcium, but we were taking a lot of other ones. So
next vlog, let's just go through.
We'll just go through what our doctor told us to take, and that's for, you know, us specifically. Jill asked, should I be taking those too, since she's going to do an egg retrieval as soon as she's out of school.
And I have the same low AMH.
Yeah,
so.
And the doctor said, we'd like you to take, you can start taking those now if you want to. So she's already been on a lot of them as well.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll have some success in June and July.
So anyway, we're really hopeful. You know, the baseline wasn't surprising, and we're just really glad that we were able to get some medication, because that was really stressful. That was like a really stressful hour plus for me yesterday.
Yeah.
And she doesn't usually get angry, and she was really frustrated by it.
I was just angry because we hear from this nurse, or Sam hears from this nurse, who we don't usually hear from that often. Sam has had like one experience with this nurse before. She did an IUI for her, which was the least smooth IUI that she's had out of, what, 5 now?
Yeah, it was uncomfortable. I felt like she knew what she was doing, but didn't have almost any experience with it. Whoa.
And then said, you know, if you feel like it's not staying up there after the IUI, don't worry, it's not the specimen, which no nurse has ever had to tell you that, and it's never
I feel like she made a mistake and wanted to cover her tracks.
Yeah, exactly. But I got angry because she gave the information, she didn't give full information, and then she was like, at 4:45, I'm not going to be here today or tomorrow. It's my Friday. I'm out, so start a new message thread. And when you call, you can't directly talk to a nurse.
I called and asked to speak to her before I even got that last email, because I just was like, I have a lot of questions. It's email, you get to ask a question or two, and then you have to see the reply in order to know what you're going to ask next. And I'm all for email. I prefer email and texting over phone calls 95% of the time. But there are times when that's just more appropriate to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And the nurse that we really like, the nurse that we really like always picks up the phone if it's going to be one of those situations. She like knows, okay, this is something we should probably discuss on the phone. And you know, this one just, I feel like she just was like, oh, I have to check off emailing this patient and then I get to leave for the day. And like, I understand wanting to leave for the day, but I just felt like it wasn't handled very well.
Yeah. So I was just angry because we couldn't get a hold of anybody. And it just felt like we have all this information that we still need in order to do what they want us to do. And we have no way of getting a hold of the medicine. And we're just left, you know, for the weekend. It was Friday, it was 5 o'clock, and it was like, okay, now what? So I just got angry. Sam was upset, and usually you don't get that frustrated and upset.
I was just so frustrated.
And we just both had all these emotions, and we're like, okay, help. Just please somebody help.
I drafted a response to them like 3 times. Jill's like, you want me to do it? I was like, no.
Oh, I was angry.
She doesn't get angry easily, but when she's
like,
mad,
I'm gonna be mean.
Mad. And I was like, no, I don't want that.
I didn't want to be mean, but I was just really frustrated. But anyway, so
I ended on, can someone please call me?
Which was a little bit more urgent sounding. Like, please, somebody call me right now. I don't know what to do. I need someone
to call me as soon as possible.
And so they did. Yeah. My nurse called Sam, and we're just gonna own our nurses. Yeah. You have a nurse and I have a nurse. So she called Sam.
I have the better nurse.
And you do. And she was able to help, and so it was really helpful. I didn't know if they would have any medicine that they would let us use. I've seen in like movies and TV shows, like, you know, some big IVF issue where you can't get the medicine, so the person ends up going to the clinic and they give them the medicine, and I was like, just ask if they have the dose, and they did.
They did.
So
thank God. I don't even think I would have asked that.
Yeah.
I have a problem where I don't like to ask for things that might be not a common thing to ask for.
Yeah, just a little weird. Which she didn't even seem like it was an issue. She was like, oh, actually, let me see. And she went and probably asked the pharmacist that's in the clinic.
No, it's in their fridge. I saw her grab it.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, it's just in the little fridge there. And she came actually like, yeah, we have some in the fridge. So
it was just really nice, and we were like, okay,
thankfully.
Good.
So
thankfully we have it. So
all is still on track. If my body cooperates.
Kind of,
we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. We're going to see how this IVF cycle number 2 goes, but for now, it's settled-ish.
For now. We'll have an update when we have an update.
Yeah, probably.
In a couple of days or so.
Yeah, probably in the next vlog we'll have an update on this cycle, but for now, you're doing less aggressive
which I'm happy
protocol.
About. Yeah.
Which would be nice.
Yep.
And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So we are at our friend's house now. We are visiting them and their little daughter.
I get to do my injection at their house today because we're going to be here during the hours I need to inject. So, but they know, so it'll be all right.
They're another lesbian couple, but they did their TTC at home. They did ICI.
Got really lucky.
Yeah, their second time they got pregnant, and it's awesome. And they have a beautiful daughter now, and
we're gonna go get to play with her.
Yeah, we're excited to play with her. So we're gonna go do that. I think we are saying goodbye for this vlog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we'll update you after we find out more on Tuesday.
Yeah. So like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can click the bell for notifications when we do upload, because we are uploading now once a week. So.
And we love to hear your comments.
Yeah, we do. So comment and have a conversation with us. Okay? Well, have a good week. Bye.